Hey, I'm Karai. Like some Viktor content, some middling content? Consider subscribing, maybe even hitting that like button. It'll help me up a lot, and if you do, you'll get blue buff. Viktor Challenger. The only rule, I can only play Viktor. Unless it's banned, then we're playing Orianna. No Viktor jungle, no Viktor support, maybe Viktor Bali, and that's about it. Hello there friends, welcome back to another Viktor 2 Challenger series gameplay. Today, I'm gonna do a full game. I think if you're trying to understand what my thought processes are, why I built these items, what my runes are, this might be a good video for you. We are up against a TF, but before that, I remember this game. You'll see me. I flash right here, taking like 3 Qs in a row from the Israel. But I mainly flash because I figured if I'm against a TF. Well, actually, the real reason is because I really wanted to get the stacks and really wanted to get a kill. But more importantly, the stacks. Because the sooner I can get my E upgrade in this matchup against a TF, the better. So that whenever he roams, I can just quickly shove with my E+. You'll see that I get Doran's ring here and also with the more lane bully setup. Mainly because I know that TF really doesn't have any mobility to dodge my... Well, he doesn't have any mobility to dodge my E, and at the same time, he doesn't really have good trading abilities. Things such as abilities that will give him a shield, or any healing abilities. Hence, any damage that I deal onto him will stick until he resets. I could have definitely went Corrupting Pot, but I'm more comfortable with Doran's Ring, and I feel like with Doran's Ring, I would just never run out of mana. The problem I have with Corrupting Pot is that you can poke them a lot and it's probably much better in terms of trading, but you run out of mana really fast. The fact that I don't run Biscuits is also the reason why I don't run Corrupting Pot at the same time. You can see here in the start of laning phase, I'm already harassing him a lot more, just to get a lot of value from my Scorch and my Aerie. You can see that there are times where I'm trying to wait for my Aerie to come back before I'm trying to harass him again, but there's also times where I'm trying to poke him as much as I can. Ideally, you want to poke him whenever your Aerie resets, so you get more value out of it. In terms of the lane state, I'm really just trying to keep it in the middle. I don't really want to push because I don't want to walk up too far and get ganked by Echo. I don't want it to push into me because then TF can get a free base. This is a very ideal situation for me where the enemy minion has slightly more minions than I do. It's like just by a couple, I think. And it's going to deny some minions from the enemy TF. TF has the burn TP here, which I think it's a really poor choice. Because I felt like TF could have probably stayed for a bit more since he had minion dematerializer. And I don't think TF is a hard champion to push with. You can just spam your abilities. And you almost never run out of mana. You can see TF is doing a really poor mistake here. He's trying to just ignore me. Which I think like in a lot of cases, in a lot of champions you can. But against this setup, like if I'm running First Strike, I think he can just ignore me. But because I'm running Aerie, every Aerie and Scorch, every damage that I hit on him sticks onto him. And the fact that he burned TP right now lets me know that okay, as long as I don't make any mistakes, such as dying to ganks, you know, being way too aggressive without understanding where the enemy's support top jungle is, I should be able to win this lane slightly. Here I'm running really low on mana, but I'm just trying to space out my abilities. I'm not really like trying to poke him that much with my E, because my E just burns way too much mana. I'm just trying to use my Q to poke him as much as I can. I'm using my pots here because I know that TF has run out of pots. One thing I forgot to mention, you can see that I missed that cannon. But one thing you can see here is that I'm trying to space out my mana flow ban as well. So I'm 1 stack off full stacks on mana flow. And I definitely should have waited for my mana flow there to come back before I E him. Now I have to wait for my E cooldown. So that's a small mistake there. Because if I waited for a bit, like just like 2-3 seconds, mana flow ban would be providing me with a lot of value right now. Right here, I walk up to see if he's basing in the cheeky spot, and turns out he's not. I can't remember what I did here. I think I froze because I didn't have enough for last chapter, And because I didn't have futures market this game, I took. Oh no, I do have futures market. This is not the same game. But like because I don't have TP, it's hard for me to base and come back in this state. Had I known that he actually based, I probably would have based as well. But I'm trying to avoid him fake basing, and then I'm base, and then he pushes the lane, and I lose 1.5 wave. So here I am, in lane still. So what we know so far is that TF already based twice, which means he probably lost about at least like half a minion wave, maybe even more than that. So you can already see here, I definitely have a CS lead or a level lead on top of him. Right here, he comes in for me, and I just drop my whole combo on him, mainly because I want to take the chunk on him to lower him down a bit. I don't really want him to... And also the fact that TF, again, doesn't have really any mobility abilities. Mobility abilities, that's a word. So most of the time, he will always take full force of my Chaos Storm. Especially in such close range such as the one that you saw. The other thing good about this is the fact that like if he's low on health or he's not full on... I guess not that healthy, it's harder for him to roam. Hence why I'm trying to just that's why I outed there. Some can argue like I probably didn't out there, but hey, if he's gonna take the full Chaos Storm like that, I'll do it, man. Here he tries to trade with me. I was really worried that he might have Ignite with his Summoner spell, because if he did, I think I died there, but he had heal. So kind of a mistake from me and him. Me being I'm walking up a bit too far up without any resources. Him taking heal instead of Ignite, really. Here, I see, this is the thing. It's like sometimes you base like this, like, or we base like this and we get stopped. Like this can be easily avoided by just like being safer and not being like not holding ego. It's not a big deal because we still get the base off, and TF had to share EXP with Echo. And you might be saying, well, you lost 1 wave. Isn't that worse than sharing EXP? The thing is, Rammus was there to soak up that whole wave alone. So I'm okay with losing 1 whole wave as long as someone else is there to take my EXP. The reason why I don't really like sharing EXP is because compared to losing it is because like both of you aren't getting as much as you could have if you solo EXP. I mean that's a given, right? But having solo EXP really helps you snowball the game. You can see I'm still a level lead. I'm pretty sure I'm half a level ahead of him. TF still hasn't used his ult yet, so you can see like I think right here, yeah, right here he tries to look for an ult. First ult, I think TF's first ult is really important. It sets the tempo for the game. So again, TF ults, and you know I don't follow because my champion is really bad at roaming. I think I ult here. Yep, I do ult here. I push in the wave as fast as I can. I know TF is still bot, and I see like TF is walking up towards the river. I believe I tried to go and help, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get the plating first before anything. Like you can see, I'm trying to hover because the reason why I try to hover right now, you can see that it's because my team has good setup for me to follow up. So for example, if my team was something like Shyvana, pre-Shyvana 6, right? Pre-Shyvana 6, Zeri, and then, I don't know, Soraka, right? I'm not roaming there because they don't have any abilities for me to really, like, follow up. They don't have, like, crowd control or good crowd control. They have slows, right? But they can't really, like, lock down someone like Echo. Whereas in this case, we have Yumiya, we have Ashe ult, Ashe consistent slow, Rammus taunt. So it's one of those factors that you really want to pay attention to when you're you know, quote unquote trying to roam on Viktor. If you want to roam Viktor. Here now that I have my E upgrade, it makes a lot of things easier. For some reason this guy is trying to trade with me, and I guess that's because Seraphine is roaming up top. Here I definitely might have been able to save the cleanse, but I was worried that Echo might pop up from the top side river bush. Ashe outlands here, but I'm just way too far. And also, is it just me? Or I can't see Ashe's ult stun duration. Like if it lands on someone, I can't see the stun duration on someone. So sometimes it's hard for me to set up the kill. Because I don't know if I have time to put on my gravity field, or should I just burn my entire combo without it anyways. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys have the same issue here. So, right here, back to the game. Not much is going on here. It's 8-2. We're in a pretty solid lead here. Like I said earlier, TF's first out is really crucial. It sets the tempo for the game. You're gonna see my bot lane is winning really hard. The fact that TF burned his first out without getting anything in return really puts him behind. I believe I'm an entire level up on him. And the fact that Seraphine also took like half his CS or half his EXP there, it's just putting TF in a not so good spot here. The thing about TF is that I don't think TF is extremely weak. Obviously, he provides value as a stun bot, right? On-click stun bot. But I think the thing about him is that if you don't get like a good lead from your first ult, you're just gonna be constantly behind. Because the fact like against like mid laners, where like against like what I'm doing, you're just giving like 160 gold every time you out away, and you're losing 160 gold plus EXP every time you out away. Obviously this time he ults, he goes up top, Tryndamere still dies, and he has to collect top farm. It's pretty bad, right? It's like I wish there's something good I can say about it, but like at this point, TF is really just a stun bot. Like he's not gonna provide any damage values at all. I think TF has some sort of TF damage value, but right now we see Echo is flashing on me for some reason. Right, he tries to ult because I'm on top of his ult. And this is the one thing I don't get whenever like people gank me. It's like they would just flash on top of me without knowing that I have flash or not, or without knowing like the guy they're ganking have flash or not. Maybe it works in low elo, but this is around Masters-ish, like Masters 50 LP, give or take. Maybe high diamond, low Masters. So we escaped that cleanly. Here I just E the wave, clear the whole wave, nothing to worry about. I didn't base under like between my two turrets because I'm worried that something might happen, which I don't know what would happen. Maybe I'm worried that Echo might come, but regardless, I'm worried that someone might stop my base, hence I went to a safer spot. And now we're in a really good spot. It's 10-2 now. TF is in a pretty shitty spot here. There's probably a lot more I can talk about like in terms of trading, but the main things to take away, since now I'm just returning to lane, is that if you want to be a more aggressive type of laner, or like Viktor, or if you want to be a more aggressive Viktor in lane, you could go for Scorch and also Aerie. Especially, like, I think it's really good against champions such as TF, where they don't have any shields, don't have any heals. I think even against champions that have shields and heals, you can also play aggressive, but it kind of like, it's not as effective compared to, you know, things like TF, things like maybe Orianna. No, Orianna's a shield, but you get the point. Like basically things that can't really defend themselves from damage, and the damage will always stick onto them, right? I think first strike in this matchup is not that bad either, but obviously with first strike I can't poke them down as much as I would like to. So right now the game is just really in our favor, really in our control. This turret is always going down, hence why so initially I didn't want to dive this, but Yuumi started ulting and I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna dive this. You can see here I didn't die from like 4 turret shots thanks to Yuumi and Ash's heals. So we get the turret and we also get a Seraphine on our way out. Here I base. I'm trying to get my, I think I get a a Sorcerer's Shoes here. And right now what we want to do here is just go on side lane and just continue to scale. So even though the game is like really in our favor, there's really no point of trying to rush a win here. I think that's one thing I see a lot of people do as a mistake, where they tried, like, they're really ahead and they try to force things to happen. And it really depends on your team comp, because obviously, like, if you have like Kiana, right, if you have like champions with a lot of agency, sure, you can definitely go with, like, you know, quote unquote forcing things to happen. But if you're playing things like Viktor, you know, Vayne, any late game scalers that have really good late game potential, you know, you don't have to rush a win. You know, having a good early game just means that you can get to your late game much easier, and you definitely have that late game insurance once you hit that late game. So once again, we're just trying to go on a side lane here, trying to scale. I didn't take the pink ward because I'm afraid they might jump on me. I don't see Echo on the map earlier, and I also didn't see where Seraphine and also Ezreal is on the map. So I didn't take it until I see where they're on the map, just to be sure. I believe TF dies here. Yep, TF that skill here. I go into this bush because vision. Because I don't think Ezreal sees me through this vision here. I Q him. I don't E first because I knew he was going to dash with his Q or with his E. Hence why I waited for his E until until he used his E. Then only I used my E. Long strings of words there, but you get the point. So once again, we're just trying to scale. Don't really need to rush to win here. My team is doing on the job. I guess another thing I could talk about is like knowing how to get carried. You could say this is one of the games where I'm trying to get carried. I know that my win condition is as long as I don't die for free, I should be fine. But as I say that, TF tries to gank me. I feel like I almost could have get a double here. But I wasn't like I'm off the mindset like, oh, I don't really have to do anything. Right? Like if I was slightly more ahead, you know, if my team was more around, then it gives me incentive to do it. But because there's really no point for me to risk it all, just to get like 300 gold, maybe even less because TF has no value right now. TF died like, I think TF might be 0-4 right now, or 0-1. I feel like he's more behind because like of all the ults that he failed. But yeah, there's like I said, the main point is there's really no point for me to risk dying there. Because if I die there, I think the enemy gets like a lot out of me. You know, they get 300 gold, maybe even more, 350. They get EXP, shared gold. Just a lot of stuff that you don't really want the enemy to have for them to come back. So again, the mindset I had there was that, oh, okay, well, I just need to not die, and try to annoy the enemy. Like I'm basically an annoying fly right now. So let's like switch up the gears and say, okay, why not? Let's try to think of it from the enemy's perspective. If I'm the enemy right now, 3 and 15, 15 to 3, 3 on 3 as the enemy, right? I see the enemy Viktor farming. What can I do? Well, there's not a lot you can do. Obviously, you want to try to punish, but at the same time, like, how do you even punish? You have a level 10 TF on the map, a level 10 Ezreal on the map, not 2 ahead in items, and then Viktor is just again 2 levels ahead. What they did was fine. It's just that because they're so behind and so lacking of damage, it's hard for them to punish me. I kind of forget where I was going with this, but I think the point I'm trying to bring is that as the enemy, like, I know that the enemy needs to come back by trying to find a pick with me. So as long as I, like, as the Viktor, don't mess up or like don't give a kill for free, I know the enemy cannot come back, is what I'm trying to say here. I don't know why I went with the whole enemy point of view. I think I was trying to say, like, try to think of what your enemy wants and try to deny them that. And right now the enemy wants to get a kill on me, or wants to get kills, be it me or whoever on the map is. I think I'm probably the easiest because I'm not that strong. I'm 0-2. I just have really good farm. Whereas the rest of my teammates are really, really strong. And Gnar is just tanky, especially Mega Gnar. Mega Gnar has a lot of stats. Just saying, Mega Gnar has insane amount of stats, by the way. So, anyways, it's 18 to 3. The game is pretty much over. Like I said, we just need to learn how to get carried here. Don't really need to do anything aggressive here. I see Ashe is on mid lane, like a bit far up, and I'm worried that she might get jumped on. So I tried to go to her, but I see that she's fine. Tryndamere sees me here. I also see Tryndamere, but maybe he doesn't know. Tryndamere tries to jump on me, but as I said, like, just try to put the gravity field on top of yourself. Here, he tries to kill me here. I walk back trying to predict that he might E in. But he got taunted anyways, and, you know, he just gets a kill here. I believe Tryndamere has, Bork this game. No, PD. What's PD again? Phantom Dancer, right. He has Phantom Dancer in this game, so I know that he doesn't really have that much cooldown. He can't really spin infinitely. So I knew I was safe. So maybe I shouldn't have actually tried to predict his E on top of me. That's why I ran backwards. But it worked out anyways. So once again, we're just trying to... You can see a lot of my games. This is basically what happens in a lot of my games, right? This is like high diamond, low masters, right? If I can do this in high diamond, low masters, anyone can do this in like below those elos. And I know what you're trying to say. Well, Kurai, like, if I try to do this, my team will flame me. You know, they say like, oh, Viktor, why are you AFKing on the side lane? Why are you not trying to join fights? Why? Hey, shut up. All right. When your teammates say this, all right, and when you're playing Viktor and your teammates say this, all right, just mute them and don't care and just farm. Right? This is. If you want to do this, right, or rather, I should say, if you want to carry as Viktor, you have to be extremely selfish. Because the fact is, if you screw up as Viktor early game, there is no late game for you. None. Nada. Alright? Zero. Alright? You will not have a late game as Viktor if you screw up early. Alright? Here's the thing. Alright? Your teammates can flame you all they want. It's not going to change the fact of how the game is going. Alright? Imagine this. Alright? Imagine if I'm on the opposite end of this. Right? 3 and 22. Right? And I'm just on a side lane farming. Right? If my teammates flame me, what do they want me to do? Join a losing fight? I'm not gonna do that, right? So the best and most consistent way of trying to play Viktor is really just to scale up, get at least, at the very least, 2 items and hopefully all 3 upgrades before you even want to think about joining fights. Because let me tell you this, if you join a bad fight and you like join a couple of bad fights and you lose, again, no late game. I went Shadow Flame here because I think Shadow Flame is like a good balance between offensive and defensive because it gives you health and it also gives you magic pen. I'll go back to my rant in a bit, but like I believe Tryndamere tried to jump on me here. I knew Tryndamere was around, but I didn't see him. You can see I'm still slightly confused here. He tries to kill me here. He gets a couple of good crits on me too. But you know, I'm just, you know, my team is just here. I think even without my team I would have been fine because I had flash anyways. And also cleanse, I could have just cleansed the slow and I'll be fine. But anyways, going back. If any of you are still watching this, alright, hear me out. When you play Viktor, be selfish, alright? You don't have to be selfish to the point where like if your team like is fighting and you're around and it's winning, you know, you can choose not to fight, but obviously if you can join and if it's winning and it's a good percentage to win, why not, right? If it doesn't cost you a lot, sure, why not? But if it's the case where it costs you a lot, or it might cost you a lot to the point where like you know it might lose you the late game insurance, just don't join. Just play it slow. Alright, just play it slow, scale up, farm up. Cause I know this for sure. Viktor, once you hit those item like those 3 item spikes, you will carry. You will 100% carry. I know this is supposed to be like a TF breakdown. But I think the points to summarize is like if you're up against TF as Viktor, it really depends on what the runes are. But in this case, I have Aerie and Scorch. You can definitely look to be more aggressive as long as you know where the enemy jungle is. Make sure to always put a ward, and if they have a jungle like Xingjiao or anything like that, you know, some early gankers, you can still play aggressive, but be more wary of where they are. Hope you guys are able to learn something here. And I will definitely see you in the next video. Thank you.